I want to start a new series where basically I'm going to recap my day. It's not going to be every day. It's only going to be if something stands out and I just want to talk about, have something that I see and then just upload it immediately, maybe the day of, maybe the next day, so that it makes sense. It's not something that I upload the next week or next month and then the level is kind of hard to see because you have to go back in time to actually see the date. I don't know what the series is going to be called, but it's going to be a recaps of my days, recaps of what I see in the market. In every one of these recap videos, I'm going to give a word that I want to talk about, and maybe it might be the same words. It could be the same words the next video. It could be the same words like the one after that. But in today's recap, I want to talk about patience, and that is the word for today. I did not take any trades today, and I'm going to show you guys why. First, I have my two charts here, like always. Here's the NASDAQ, and here is the ES. So right now, it is on the 2-minute time frame. I am going to zoom out to show you guys what I see in the bigger time frames. So first, I am going to go to NASDAQ and put the 30-minute time frame, because this is usually where I chart my levels. I do go to the bigger time frames, but mainly around 30 minutes to 1 hour, depending on where the level is. So this is what I see on the intraday. We're kind of in a zone right now. First and foremost, what I do on intraday basis, on a daily basis, is I chart out my intraday highs and my intraday lows. So basically, it's the previous day's highs and previous day's lows. That's why I do mark it out right here. So the red dashed lines is going to be my previous day's lows, and my green dashed lines is my previous day's highs. So that is basically where the exact high is. And my zones right here are my supply zones, my demand zones. I said opposite, but I do have levels as there as well. But if it does align with the previous day's highs or previous day's lows, then that makes me more influential to take that. We also have this supply zone right here, because that's where basically where the market fell down here. My mouse is kind of messed up, but I also have this pre-market high right there. That's why it's rejecting multiple times right there. So I do have pre-market highs right there, and then when you go down pre-market lows or previous day's lows, I have the shelf level right here. You can see how it rejected right there, and now it's basically holding in the pre-market. But I don't plan on shorting this level right here on the NASDAQ, because we are in a bullish market. My game plan for today was a break and retest of this pre-market highs for a long right there. And then my shorts was, I don't really have any shorts, honestly. The NASDAQ is not as weak, so that's why I'm not planning on shorting it. And then I go to the ES right here, go to the ES, and I have the same charts as well, or the same zones. I try to make it align with the NASDAQ and make sure they align together. We do have this rejection right here that basically stopped the market from going up. So that's why I do have a zone right there. It's also the pre-market high right there. So I'm kind of concerned if it'll go higher, because it might just break down from there. And if the NASDAQ is breaking the pre-market highs and ES is not, then I don't really want to take the trade. It really depends on what I'm seeing. Again, I have my previous day's highs marked out right there, previous day's lows. And my game plan for the ES was a break and retest on the highs. The only way I'll short the market is only the ES, because it makes more sense. The previous day's lows is right here and aligns with this rejection that we had the other day. And that was also a break and retest right there that actually worked. And then later in the extra day, it actually broke down, and that was a really nice retest, but I didn't take that trade last week. Then when I go to the 2 minutes, I have my zones marked out, and then I just wait. I wait until I see zones get tapped. I wait for reactions on the zones. I don't like taking anything from one of these zones or any of these zones, because it's in the middle of the channel. And although it's touching my previous day's highs, it's not aligning with one of these levels right here. And it doesn't make sense for me to try doing something if a zone is close by, because it doesn't have enough room. It doesn't give me it doesn't give me a good risk reward, so I don't want to take it. All I see today was nothing but chop. It does go up here, but I'm not trying to short the market because we're in a bullish market, so I don't really care for shorting. Later day, it finally comes around what time? Like 12:10. It actually finally comes to the test. Like, it finally breaks above the zone that I want to. My game plan in the morning was a break and retest of this pre-market highs. I finally got it. I have my game plan. If the chart is not following my game plans and it's not going to what I want or to my zones, then I'm not gonna do anything. So the whole day I'm just chilling, doing whatever I want, and then I start to see it come up here, it rejects. That means it's a strong level that it's showing reactions on that level. So that means if I know that it breaks and it gives me a proper retest, I can actually take it for a long. So now it actually does do it. It finally breaks. Okay, now I get interested. It does do the break, and now it's coming to retest the level. It's slowly retesting the level, holding, but it fails. Why did I not take the trade if it works? This was the thing I was waiting for, but it didn't work through. Maybe it just didn't happen because obviously your strategy is not always 100%. So maybe you try taking it and it fails. But then that's why I also look at the ES. This is what is called divergence in the market. Some people call it SMTs. You see how the Nasdaq is being strong, is breaking above, and now the ES, it finally broke above the previous day's highs. But now we are tapping into the supply rejection that I had in the market, and also this is pre-market highs. We're rejecting that area. I would like to take the Nasdaq, but the ES is in the way. It's in the way right here, so it's hard for me to trust. I still believe that it could work still, because the Nasdaq is looking strong, but I did draw a flag pattern right here, and it was a bit smaller. The flag pattern is like this small, and then it was finally working. As you see, let me fix it a bit. As you see, it was working fine. It finally did the break retest. It's getting above this trend line that I drew. It looks like it was going good, but I kept debating if it was going to be strong because this ES was right here. Multiple times I kept thinking about clicking my screen or clicking the buy button. I was very close, but I didn't. I was trying to be very patient. I actually see that if it has volume over this high right here, and I was risking about 27 points like this. This is short. I was risking about 27 points. I don't know where, but like it was somewhere here that I was risking like 25 to 27 points. I was targeting it like 2 to 1 around here, this area, and it didn't really get above my level or like my area that I wanted to get in, and that's why I didn't get it. But also, I was very debating if it was gonna be good, because I normally want to target more than at least a 3 to 1 at least, and if it's not that, it's not really. I don't really like the odds. My target is really close to the supply rejection, so kind of a bit scared to get into that play. And the ES is also in a supply rejection, so I'm, not hesitating a lot. I'm actually talking to myself in my head saying, is this really a quality setup? Is this really A+? And I'm just like thinking in my head, and I don't think it is, because this thing is kind of in the way. My risk reward is, not 3 to 1 that I like, and everything is just in the way. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take the trade. I'm trying to be patient, wait for the quality setups I really like, and just not take the trade. So I was being very patient, and guess what? The trade failed, and I'm gonna walk out today, take no trades, be disciplined, wait for the next setup, wait for the next day, and that is called patience. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.